Yeah, so, I think before we go into, because there's so many business questions we want to ask you, kind of the way you fundamentally built up this empire, this following, this kind of brand that is so well known. But I want to know a bit more about your childhood. Like, what makes you? What makes you tick? Because the more research we did, I don't know anything. It's a clean slate.
Well, what people see one side of you, don't they? And really, there is a whole nother business element to your charity. I mean, everyone starts somewhere in their journey, don't they? I mean, my journey started on the fruit and veg markets.
Oh, how was that?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a family business over 100 years. It was from my great grandfather to my grandfather to my dad, and then to me.
Yeah.
So it's sort of handed down as the generations went through the generations. But yeah, I was 10 years old, working weekends on the markets. My dad, and every Saturday I used to go and do a full 14-hour day on the market. And then
not many 10-year-olds are doing that.
No, by the time I was 14, I spoke to my dad. I said, I want to leave school. I want to come work with you on the markets. And so we had that discussion. And back then it wasn't the crime it is now to leave school at 14. There was a few people doing it. And so, I think it was probably the best decision I've ever made.
What was the reason, Wayne? Money reasons? You just wanted to be a businessman and you wanted to...
I just didn't feel that my path was up for me, and my head was already laid out for me. And that was to go on the fruit and veg markets, because they were thriving then.
Yeah.
Everybody used to go to the town centre for the fruit and veg. There was no superstores.
How much was the fruit and veg? How much did it cost back then, Wayne?
Well, it's £2 a banana, it's 20. Come on.
Yeah, I love it.
Let me weigh them melons up for you, darling.
And, Inflation's changed everything now.
I mean, obviously prices then, we were talking about 1977. I was full-time on the markets.
Yeah.
I was 14, 15, yeah. And so I never took any exams at all. I didn't feel that it was right for me. I just wanted to get my business career started. And then I started thinking about going on my own when I was 16. I said to my dad, I want to get my own stalls and this, that, and the other. So he helped me.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad was
Was he not against that at all?
No, because it was at a time in his career, in his journey on the markets, that he wanted to sort of enjoy himself a bit more. And so he let me run everything. And so certain days of the week he'd say, look, you can have these stalls these days and blah, blah, blah. Because Leicester Market was the biggest permanent market in Europe. It's a big one. And it was thriving. It was so busy, hustle, bustle. And because there was no supermarkets then. None, just corner shops. So everyone used to go to the city centre for their fruit and veg. And on Fridays and Saturdays it was so busy. It's, and then over the years, this supermarket started opening up. And, your one-stop shops. And, which hit the market bad. Over a year, really. They all started popping up, your Tesco's, your Sainsbury's. And
did you notice business starting to drop?
And they obviously sold all fruit and veg because you couldn't get it anywhere else then before. So it hit us hard, and then I thought, we're struggling here. This is no future in this market. I need to do something else. And then by this time I was 24, 25. And at that time, my brother Gary was absolutely on fire. He was captain of England, he was scoring goals for fun, and he won the Golden Boot in the World Cup. And, so I thought, I need to do something. What do I want to do? And at that time, my wife at the time, Dwayne and Sean's mum, parents lived in Tenerife. We used to visit them a lot. I thought, I'd love to live here. And I thought, what can I do?
At first insight to the sun.
Yeah. I'd love to live here. And I thought, I'd love to open a bar. And I thought to myself, what can I need to use my second name because it's mine as well. I thought, I know, I'll open a bar and I'll call it Lineker's. And that's exactly what happened. And and I said to my dad, I said, I'm going to move to Tenerife. I'm selling everything up, and sold my house. And he was upset. I don't think I've ever seen him cry.
It's a big move there.
He's like,
big move.
Because we did everything together, me and my dad, you know, we were always together.
And you've literally just said to him, see you later.
So you've literally just said that you're selling up, you're going, you are 100%. There's no other options. You've put your heart and soul and mind into this is going to work.
And I've told this story a couple of times, but about 3 months before I left, you know, I'd now sold my house. I've got everything together. I'm 40 grand in the bank, and I thought I'm gonna go and do my thing.
I'm gonna do this. Yeah. I'm going.
And I was going to a cafe. This is on the last few weeks of my market days. I was going to a cafe. I'd already got my mind in. I got what I wanted to do in my head. And I was going to this cafe to get my breakfast. I was getting a sausage and tomato cob with brown sauce on. Cob, they call them in Leicester.
Yeah.
And halfway there, I'm going through the clothes section. I was stopped on my tracks like that. And I saw this vision, I saw it. It's clear as daylight, like I'm looking at you now. I saw this big, this bar with 3 round windows in it. And inside the bar was all these pictures of footballers on the walls, and I could see a guy behind the microphone, behind the bar. And I go like, wow, that's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Anyway, I forgot about it, and I made my move to Tenerife, and I couldn't find anywhere. I was there for weeks and 2 months, and I phoned my dad and I said, I think I made a mistake. I think I've got to come back.
Were you really worried at this point?
Yeah,
like, actually, I'm thinking, I've just sold
everything. I can't find anything, I've
only got a certain amount
of money.
Now
I'm running out of money, and
I
thought, oh my God, I made the biggest mistake of my life. And he's like, no, you stick it out now, son. Something will come up. Just keep going, keep going.
I love that.
And funny, the next day, I got a phone call from a guy called Bill, the estate agent. I remember my vision was these 3 round windows, He said, all right, Wayne, this is Bill. I'll be here looking for a bar. I said, yeah. He said, I've got one in the Patch. Because there's 2 places I wanted to be, either the Patch or Veronica's. I said, okay, cool. I got my seat at Ibiza, funny enough. I went to meet him, and he's a big guy, glasses. I said, what you got for me? He said, I've got this one here. Captain's Cabin, it was called. 3 round windows. I'm like, what the fuck? It was exactly what I saw in my vision. I'm not joking. It was clear as daylight.
That's crazy.
Same
that
thing.
Is, yeah.
Yeah, the weirdest thing ever in my life.
That actually is.
And it had 3 round windows. And I'm going, I love it. He said, you've not seen it? I said, I don't need to. I said, well, let's go and have a look anyway. And there it was, exactly as I saw, the same size as my vision. And and I opened it and it just went mad. Went crazy from day one. And then 12 months later, I moved to a bigger premises in a place called Starco, which is opposite Veronica's. But Tenerife then was just so busy.
Yeah.
You know, it was before all the EasyJet flights and all that. So it was, which has changed a lot. It's great for Ibiza. Short haul destinations, Mallorca and places like that. Whereas in them days, you had to really properly arrange your holidays and stuff like that. You used to go for 2 weeks, not a weekend.
So true. That is so much different this day.
It's so different.
It's more weekend getaways now and everything.
It's weekend getaways.
So seeing that trends, even coming from the fruit market, being like, okay, this is working now. This is great.
Yeah.
Going to opening a bar and you kind of see that, okay, wow, this is amazing. Do you instantly think, okay, are you the sort of person meant it's like, okay, I've onto a winner here. How do I expand this? How do I franchise it out? How do I develop? Like, as you said, you grew immediately.
Yeah.
Year 1, year 2, you got bigger premises straight away.
Yeah, we went. So year 2 we moved to a bigger premises, and I saw a lot of things wrong in the industry that I thought, well, we need to change. People, it was very aggressive back then. The security and I thought. So people were coming into the bars, getting pissed, getting on the seats, getting thrown out.
Yeah.
Like it's literally slung in the streets for it. I'm thinking, how can you go and take all their money, get them pissed,
not let them have fun
and not let them have fun, and then kick them out?
Yeah.
Well, that's not right. But everyone was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'll turn that around. I'll let them do what they want. So everyone started coming in and dancing on the tables and on the chairs, and everyone's like, people were just talking about it around this because no social media then.
Yeah, word of mouth is your power.
All people were talking about around the swimming pools was Lineker's, and it was ridiculously busy. It's the busiest. I think it's the busiest bar in the world ever per square meter per day.
Oh wow!
365 days a year. Just absolutely rammed.
Congratulations!
It was absolutely rammed, and everyone was having the best time, because they could do what they want.
Yeah,
within reason, obviously. And
but that extra freedom really does. It's the new, and everybody wants to be involved with that new, and it makes them feel like they're in power, they're in control, and it's their night out, and that's what works, and that's what made that work for you.
And then, like you say, we got this winning formula, and we took it everywhere. We took it to first, second bar was Gran Canaria, and then to Iron Napa. We took it to. Obviously Marbella, which is still going.
But you're always thinking sunnier climates rather than be like, actually, this works and this can work in the UK. Was that a sort of, or you think this is your territory?
Yeah, I almost opened one in Leicester Square, but I just thought it's not quite right.
I'm in central location.
Yeah, but it's it's all about sunshine, people in t-shirts and bottles of beer. And it's just
mentality fits in them scenarios.
In tourist resorts, it's the perfect brand for tourist resorts. So I didn't want to delve into something that might change the brand, and I enjoyed it. I was going from just opening new bars and it just progressed from there really. And then,
I'm jumping over here though, Wayne. Actually, you just mentioned like in London. Would you now in the future, let's say, look for somewhere in London maybe? Would that ever be an option?
With the Lineker's brand.
No.
Excuse me. No, not really. I mean,
but it's always in your head, maybe with something else that maybe bring into London.
But we've found obviously Ocean Beach now is just a phenomenon. We're obviously be expanding that brand and taking it to different countries. Yeah. Whereas Lineker's has sort of fizzled out a little bit now. It's been 34 years ago. We opened 34 years ago.
It's a long time. It's gone good.
And we've still got the one in Tenerife and Marbella and Ibiza.
So how many Linekers actually are there?
Well, I got up to 11 once. There was 11 at one point.
I never realised. Wow.
But over the years, they've sort of, because the bar industry's changed a lot because there was no daytime parties back then.
Yeah.
So it's all the bars got all the what I call sober money.
Yeah.
When people turn up, they're ready to go, ready to party. So
buy 10 shots.
The sober money goes to all the beach clubs now and all the daytime venues, because there was nothing back then. Everyone used to meet in the bars, get pissed in the bars, and then go to the clubs. So now, the bar industry took a hit. Really, it's not like it was. I mean, it's still okay. It's still good fun, but you don't have the hours. You don't have the long hours of people drinking.
It seems like every time you the way you speak, like you can kind of hear the gap in the market's here, the fundamentally the flow of money each time is going to a different area. You can be like, okay, well, if they go into the bars in the evening, well, wouldn't they go to they're on holiday, wouldn't they go to the bars in the morning? Like, how can I capitalize on their kind of that opportunity?
Where are they going to most spend money? And that's when we're going to open a club.
Let's take a moment to thank our sponsor, FINT.
Do you fancy investing without the faff? Well, then head over to the FINT website now and register your interest.
Kurt, back to the pod?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously at that time, the bars were killing it. And all these daytime venues started popping up here, there and everywhere, and then I sat with Tony Truman, because me and Tony opened Lineker's in Ibiza 2008. And it was thriving. It was fantastic because there was no daytime venues then. And then he said to me, we need to open a beach club.
Yeah.
We need to open a beach club. And I went, yeah, we do. And we were just chatting for ages about it and what we'd do. And then we went to, and then a few weeks later, he called me and said, I've found a venue.
Did you always know it was going to be Ibiza?
That's where we wanted it to be.
That's where you wanted it.
Yeah. Tony's been there for years, and and I'd been there for at that point 4 years.
Yeah.
Because of Linekers, and then we found the venue. He called me, said, "Found it. Come, let's have a look." So I went. Oh my God! I remember standing at the top there, like, this is perfect. And
What was it beforehand? Was it?
It was a Spanish family owned it. It was a wedding venue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they're at their end of their career. And
they were sort of.
They were ready for retirement.
Yeah.
It was perfect timing. And we got the venue, and then I thought it's not big enough. Because at that time it was only 2/3 of what it is now.
Okay.
And I said, I remember having a conversation with Tony. I said, we need that restaurant next door. So he inquired about that, and he went, it's the same family owned it. We're going to get that. So they did a deal on them both, and then so now we've got the wedding venue and the restaurant, and we're like. And then when it was all knocked down, we thought, fucking hell, it's too big.
Yeah. That's a lot of open space.
It was like a football pitch.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God. But by the time you
and at this point, were the bars kind of funding this kind of dream that's kind of happening in front of your eyes? Like you were reinvesting that capital again and again.
Yeah. Obviously, my son Dwayne was involved, and Tony, and there's 5 of us in the business, and we're doing everything together.
Pulled a couple of investors together, Francis and that, and boom.
So we just do everything together now, and but yeah, it was so big, like oh God. But anyway, when we designed it, and by the time you got your kitchens in there and your offices and your toilets, and blah blah blah. It's the perfect size. It really
Suddenly the space starts to get filled, and you can see it rather than just the panic at the beginning.
I'll tell you and then experience, that place gets full.
And at that time, it was financially draining. Trying to get it open on time, and then we were running late. And
did you have any actual problems opening the place, or was it sort of smooth sailing? Was it?
Yeah, I mean, it was tight financially tight for us. We had a big, it was a bigger operation than we thought. That went way over budget.
Yeah, ends up being the case, doesn't it, sometimes.
But we stuck through it, and we were literally days away from going under. Like, we can't do this anymore. We're gonna, the banks are on our case, and but we got through it, and then just been fantastic ever since. Got off to a great start. I look back at the venue now and think, oh, it's changed so much. But we've obviously added certain things every year, and
it's the way that venue's run, though. That is.
But you speak about word of mouth, and like obviously the way that the gap in the market, obviously social media's taken over a lot now. Did that really help for you personally? Okay,
social media.
I'm opening a place now. Like Lineker's Bar is one side. Okay, word of mouth from them sort of people. They were like, okay, Lineker's Bar. Now I've got Ocean Beach. Like, were you directly funneling them sort of people? Like, oh, you've been on holiday this year. Maybe next year, this is the destination you need to book. Like, how did you deal with that?
It was just, at the time, social media was pretty much fresh,
Yeah. Because you were at the start of that real era.
And, we owe such a lot to social media.
Yeah.
It's the most Instagrammable club. There's more photos in the Ocean than twice as much as any club in the world.
Yes,
every single day.
You owe a lot to social media, but if the club wasn't the way it looked,
exactly
it didn't have the entertainment system that it had, social media wouldn't be able to use it because it wouldn't have anything
the one
to
thing
share.
that
it is still down to you.
I see from yourself and the club and the way it develops, you never stand still. You always adapt and evolve, i.e. social media, making sure that everything, each wall is visual, like the way that you produce the kind of like the actual visuals of the dancers, the crane coming in with everything. You never stand still. You're like, how can we make it better? And that's what I appreciate seeing each time.
It's an immersive experience for everyone there, genuinely. If it's someone's birthday, you bring them up. You just make people feel like they're welcome and wanted. And you really, really do.
It's just a magic formula, Ocean. I say a lot. You can go there, 10 of you on a bed, and by the time you leave, you got 50, 60, 70 new friends. You know, everyone's sociable. You know, you're talking to each other all day, and you know, the guys are after the girls are after the guys, the girls are in bikinis, the guys are. It's just beautiful. You know,
and you've got great food as well there.
Great food, great music.
Do you think that's the secret?
The production's a big part of what we do.
The production's outstanding.
The production's mental.
Yeah,
but do you think all these add-ons
progressed over the years as well?
Because Curtis came back from Ibiza one day and missed Ed Sheeran. Do you think?
Oh my god!
I'm sorry, I had to drop you in it. But do you think that's why these kind of global superstars, Ed Sheeran, like Conor McGregor, that they walk into them places and actually they're having as much fun as everybody else is.
Oh yeah.
And do you think that's the secret? Because everybody that goes there has the same mentality. Yeah. It feels warm and welcome.
That's exactly what it is. It's you know, everyone's happy. They're in the sunshine.
Yes, they are.
They're on holiday. They're having a beautiful time, surrounded by beautiful people. You know, there's never hardly ever any fights in Ocean.
I've never really seen one out of every time I've ever been. It's everyone is just in the right frame of mind.
Yeah, it's just a great formula, and yeah.
Would you? Where's Ocean Beach's future? Where are you wanting it to go, Wayne?
Yeah, well, we are obviously expanding to Dubai.
Yeah,
and which we're very excited about. Should be opening in October.
Because if you can take that formula and put it into another location, I like it with Lineker's.
I mean, we've been trying with Dubai for years. Yeah. We actually did get a venue a few years ago, and it all fell through. Then COVID came, and which was a terrible time, and it took us a long time to find the right venue. But now we've got one that we feel is even better than the original one we were after. So
what's the
It's on the JBR Walk.
Yeah,
it's just a beautiful spot.